Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Amia. In this episode, we're going to look at AWS Global Infrastructure at a high level. So up to this point, AWS has launched 24 geographic regions. Each region has 2 or more availability zones, or AZs. That spans 76 AZs around the world. AWS also announced its plan to launch 3 new regions and 9 new AZs. There are 216 points of presence for edge services, including 205 edge locations and 11 regional edge caches for low latency content delivery. There are 97 direct connect locations for the dedicated network connection between your data center and AWS. AWS continues to add more regions, AZs, and edge locations all the time to provide 175 services over 245 countries and territories. So what are the AWS regions, AZs, and edge locations? Regions are geographically separated areas. These regions are physical locations around the world to cluster multiple data centers. Each region consists of multiple isolated, physically separated AZs. Usually, there are 3 AZs per region, sometimes more or less than 3. For instance, US East Northern Virginia region has 6 AZs, whereas Singapore region has only 3 AZs. Within a region, these AZs are physically separated data centers with redundant power, networking, and connectivity. So each AZ is a logical group of data centers which can be one or more physical data centers. They can be in separate buildings or locations. They are built with redundancies. There are high throughput, low latency networking between these AZs in a region. All traffic between these AZs is encrypted. So this is a photo of an AWS data center. It looks massive. These data centers have physical servers, storage, and firewalls. They are usually built with redundant power and networking. Each AZ has 1 or more data centers like this. Then in each region, there are a few AZs. So why is it set up this way? Well, the main reason is for high availability. Many AWS services have built-in high availability, where resources are replicated across multiple AZs in a region. For instance, Amazon S3 operates in a minimum of 3 AZs, so data are protected if one AZ goes down. AWS also gives options to customers to deploy applications in multiple AZs to ensure business continuity in events like a power outage, fires, or flood. This is a list of all the regions launched by 2020. In North America, we have US East Northern Virginia, Ohio, US West Oregon, Northern California, and Canada. Then we have GovCloud in US West and US East. GovCloud is only available in the United States for US governments and their partners to meet certain compliance mandates. Services in the GovCloud must be operated by US citizens on US soil. Down below for South America, there is only one region at the moment, which is Sao Paulo. Then for Asia-Pacific regions, we have Singapore, Beijing, Ningxia, Hong Kong, Sydney, Tokyo, Seoul, and Mumbai. Then we have Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions. In Europe, we have Frankfurt, London, Paris, Ireland, Stockholm, and a new region Milan was launched in 2020. In the Middle East, Bahrain region was added in 2019. In Africa, Cape Town was newly launched in 2020. When you use AWS Console, CLI, or SDK to manage AWS, the first thing you need to do is to choose a region. The resources you created in one region is only visible in that region. So how do you choose a region? There are a few considerations. First of all, you may want to choose a region that is close to you or your users for low latency. If the majority of your users are in the US, you may want to choose a US region. The second reason is compliance and regulatory requirement. Some laws mandate that certain data must be stored in particular countries. For instance, if your organization is operating highly sensitive data for the US government, you should consider the GovCloud. Some resources or services are not available in all regions. New services are usually launched in the US East Northern Virginia region first. Sometimes it takes a long time rollout to other regions. For instance, Alexa for Business is only available in this region at the moment. However, this doesn't mean your end user can't access the application created by the service. It just means you can only create and manage the service in this region. Each region may have different prices for AWS services. For instance, your EC2 instances or data in S3 buckets may be charged a different price in Singapore than in the US. Keep in mind, AWS charges data transfer between regions. Data transfer inside a region between availability zones are free. There are over 200 edge locations at the moment, which are more than regions and AZs. These edge locations are part of AWS Content Delivery Network for low latency, high throughput content delivery. These locations are all over the world close to the users. They leverage Amazon ultrafast global network backbone to deliver data and cache them in the location that is close to the users. Services use edge locations are Amazon CloudFront and Lambda at Edge. CloudFront is the AWS Global CDN for caching dynamic or static content. Lambda at Edge is the edge computing to run code on low-latency computing resources. You only pay as you go. There is no minimum fee. Data transfer from AWS origins such as S3, EC2, ELB to edge locations are free. For instance, if you are running a photo-sharing website and store images in the S3 bucket in the US, your users are in Singapore. The first time users download photos is delivered from the S3 bucket in the US, through the CloudFront network, and cached in the edge location in Singapore. Later on, other users in Singapore will download them from the edge location instead. Without edge locations, these contents will always have to travel from origin to the end user. You don't need to pay for the data transfer between S3 and the edge location. It's much cheaper than sending data from S3 to your users directly. In this episode, we've learned AWS Regions, Availability Zones, and Edge Locations. Each region is a physical location with multiple availability zones. Each AZ has one or more physically separated data centers. Many AWS services have built-in high availability features. When you choose a region, you need to consider requirements of latency, compliance, regional services, and cost. Edge locations are part of Amazon Global Content Delivery Network to cache data for low latency, high throughput content delivery. Okay. Now we know how AWS Global Infrastructure looks like. We will understand it more as we move forward. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. If you liked the video, please help us and hit the like button. If you want to watch more tutorials, please subscribe to the Cloudemy TV channel. Make sure to turn on the notification and stay tuned. At Cloudemy, we're passionate about cloud and AI technology. Please share your feedback and thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to watch. Happy watching and happy learning.